Well, the 2026 high school football season officially starts about a month from now. But for the Eagan Wildcats, the unofficial start could be their biggest game of the year. As from TCO Stadium, it's the Eagan Wildcats against the Eagan Police Department. I believe the 5th year of this heated rivalry taking place at the Minnesota Vikings facility. He's Nathan Cron. I'm Mike Cook. Happy to be with you here. And Nathan, let's just get this out of the way. And I think in all due respect to Glenn Fry, when we talk about the temperature, the heat is on.
Index is somewhere hovering around, it's probably close to 3 digits at this point with the humidity and everything. And so they've done a good job of trying to cut this down a little bit with respect to the amount of time these players and police officers are going to be out on the field. But at the same time, you can't. Everybody's got to play in it, Mike.
Absolutely. Rules, looks like it's going to be touch football between the Eagan Police and the Eagan Wildcats. And unfortunately, we don't have any numbers for the Eagan Wildcats. Although I did overhear some of the guys on the sideline saying they're just going to mix it all up anyway tonight. We're going to be seeing offensive linemen running patterns and who knows what. But as they go for the end zone, that one's picked off by the cops. First turnover of the game to the men in blue, not the boys in the blue.
Yeah, the men in blue wearing gray. How about that?
Yeah.
You know, if you're a Civil War aficionado, it's enough to make your head explode. But the rules are absolutely 2 20-minute halves. We have running time, folks, and we will give you updates on the amount of time left approximately in the game. And the clock will stop on change of possession as it's changing right now, and it will stop when one of the teams scores. So it's not going to be a long game tonight, but it's going to be an intense one.
Christian Langhorst, I believe, with the interception for the cops. The newly deputized, apparently, Christian Langhorst.
I was just going to ask about that, Mike. A career change for young Mr. Langhorst.
Yeah, I understand some former Wildcats have been. I don't know if can you be deputized for one night? I don't know the answer.
You know,
to that.
You know what? I bet we could ask Chief Omari about that when he comes up to talk to us.
Cops going for it all on first down to the end zone. Good coverage back there. Intended target was George Anderson. Speaking of recently deputized, George, former Wildcat back. Jake Iskap, by the way, the quarterback for the Eagan Police for many years in a row now, I think you say. And keep an eye on Dan Spees, 21 in gray. I believe he's still the all-time touchdown leader in receptions in this rivalry.
It's quite a prodigious accomplishment.
I believe it is. Second down for the police. They're just going to go short. Little crossing pattern, incomplete pass. Well, he tried to throw it to a former Wildcat lineman, Marshall Beerley. That's why Marshall was on the line.
Well, Mike, you know, sometimes you get the bear and sometimes the bear gets you. And that time it was the turf bear or the, I think Marshall's going to blame that on the sun.
Absolutely. By the way, Marshall's going to be attending UW Eau Claire here before too long. But boy, remember there used to be a football coach that you can touch it, you can catch it. Third down for the police. We go near side. There's Spees. And he gets down inside the 20-yard line. Will that be enough to move the sticks? I believe it is for the Eagan Police and friends.
Eagan Police and friends. Yeah, actually, in all seriousness, what a cool thing. What a cool thing for the Wildcat alumni to be able to step in and play with the police against their former teammates. I mean, that's got to be kind of fun.
Yep. You know there's some trash talking going on.
Oh, yeah, there has to be, doesn't there?
So first down of the game goes to the cops. From the 20, borderline red zone. Going for the end zone and just a little too far that time. Intended target number 7. Again, that's George Anderson. We should again look at Jake Iskap there for the Eagan Police Department.
Yeah, really disappointed George Anderson didn't lay out for that one. I think that was a catchable ball.
You know, I think if they were playing Eastview or Farmington,
oh, there you go.
You might have went out on that.
There you go.
Although he is a graduate now, so maybe you don't do that.
I don't know. Self-preservation important.
Cops, plenty of time. Good coverage. They're going to go short underneath, and it's going to be Anderson down to about the 10. Watching the sticks, I believe it's going to be third down. Yeah, the sticks do say third down. Great blocking there by the offensive line.
Yeah, absolutely. No pressure at all on the
not
quarterback.
First score of the game, will it go to the police? And back of the end zone. No, it's not going to be on that play anyway. Yeah, I think, was that Anderson again, the intended target?
Yeah, the yellow gloves are kind of a giveaway.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Get that man some water.
Yeah, no kidding. Fourth down, it's showdown for the Wildcats.
Absolutely.
Or, excuse me, they've got to step up here and keep the cops out of the end zone.
You know, I was thinking, was it last year where the game was the cops won it on the final play?
It was. This game last year came down to the last play of the last play.
There we go, touchdown. Guess who?
Guess who? All he does is catch touchdowns,
That's all
Mike.
he does. That's all Dan Spies does is catch touchdown passes in this game. And I believe in the 5 games, that now gives him 74 touchdown passes.
Something like that.
Something like that?
It's something like that.
We're going with that.
Yeah. First touchdown coming with approximately 4 minutes, 46 seconds expired on the clock. About a quarter of the first half gone.
Yep. Obviously, you got to go for 2 because we have no goalposts here at TCO Stadium yet. Got about 2.5 weeks till training camp begins for the soon-to-be Super Bowl champion Minnesota Vikings. Or not. 1 for 2 across the middle. And they believe they're going to say he's about half a yard short. The official on the far side. So it's going to be 6-0 in favor of the Cops after the PAT. And as we take a look at that throw right across, Spies up and at him. Just found a seam amongst that defense. And just like that, 6-0 Cops. Well, we mentioned we hope to have a couple of guests here throughout the broadcast tonight. Our new, can we still call him a new police chief is supposed to join us?
Well, new to this event, certainly.
Absolutely. Yeah. Salim Omari became the Eagan police chief back December of 2025. Hopefully we'll get some words with him. I see him still ended down there on the sideline as the Cats start their second offensive series. Pick up about 10 there on first down. And then speaking of the Cats, Drew Boyd is scheduled to join us, a senior defensive back for the Eagan Wildcats who are not participating tonight.
Always great to hear from the youth of the nation, to find out what's going on at Eagan High School when you're 18 and you're a senior strong safety or a senior defensive back.
Yep. Going for I thought they were going to go it all. Go across the middle. Nice completion there for the Wildcats. Again, unfortunately, we don't have names and numbers on the high schoolers. Hopefully when Drew comes up here, he'll be able to tell us.
There you go.
But like we said, we heard on chatter on the sideline of anything was pretty much fair game tonight for the Eagan Wildcats. And just a little out of the reach. Just a hair high on that one. And it's going to be 2nd and goal, Wildcats.
Well, it's going to be an opportunity for the Wildcats to get out and run around a little bit and make some good feelings here in the community, both with the police department as well as Open Door Pantry. The Open Door is the beneficiary tonight of the food donations, which is fantastic.
A little too far on that throw, absolutely. Yeah, they were asking for donations, and I saw a lot of people putting money in the jar as they walked into TCO Stadium here this evening. The cheer squad making an appearance.
Yeah, thanks so much to them. I mean, obviously it's kind of preseason for everybody, but you know what? It's an opportunity for them to kind of work out the kinks a little bit too and get
third down play. They got a man out wide, and he's going to be stopped just shy of the goal line. Good coverage over there. I believe that was Johnny Erickson.
It's going to be 4th down and goal from about the 2.5 yard line,
Yep.
Mike.
I think it's even a little closer than that. As we watch the out pattern. Yep. Just a hair. So you got to go for it. 4th and short.
Cats deny the end zone one more time. Approximately 7 minutes, 25 seconds elapsed. And now the teams will switch it up.
6-0 our game score. Yeah, you talked about Open Door Pantry, and I had a chance to talk to one of their folks down there beforehand. She told me there's like 80,000 people that have food insecurity in Dakota County. That number shocked me. You don't think of Dakota County as one where maybe you've got that kind of, where you have that kind of need, but you just never know.
No, you never know. And again, food insecurity doesn't just mean literally I don't have anything to eat. It can mean you know, I don't have enough groceries to have, you know, say 3 meals a day, or I can't eat on weekends or something like that. I mean, and things like that. And so it's important that the community step up and hold those people, and they certainly have.
Going for it all, incomplete on first down for the Cops. I just take a look at the open door pantry. Of course, you can, if you have food insecurity, give them a holler. There's their phone number there, 686-0787. Their office not too far here from TCO Stadium. And I know they also have like a mobile lunch box that is a free lunch program for kids in the county. There's a mobile food distribution area. I saw that I think there's one day a month up at the Western Service Center there in West St. Paul. Also Lakeville, Apple Valley, and their Spies going to be close to a first down. So, and of course, they're always accepting donations, volunteering, plenty of opportunity for folks to help out the open door pantry.
Yeah, if you've never had a chance, the opportunity to join them for an afternoon or something like that, I'll confess I haven't been there a lot, but I've been there for a couple of afternoons, just moving some stuff around or helping a little bit, and it's, you know, it's fun. It's fun. It's rewarding.
And boy, that was a poor throw that time. Slipped out of his hands was Iskep. We said it's hot and humid tonight, and I'm sure those hands are getting sweaty out there.
Yeah, it's extremely hot and humid, and for the families that are watching, or that the USA Cup is going on right now in Blaine, and of course, you know, in contrast to Blaine, at least we only have to worry about the heat. If you're in Blaine, you have to worry about the heat, the earthquakes, the tsunamis, the snowstorms, and the lightning.
I thought lightning was over in East Apple Valley.
No, trust me. Blaine, Minnesota is the locus of every geological and meteorological chaos in the history of the world.
A few fans making making their appearance here at TCO Stadium. And TCO going to host a lot of high school games this year, but Wildcats not among them. But yeah, it's a great opportunity, though, when the high schoolers do get to play here. That one is just underneath. No, Cats thought it was a pick. Official right there, quickly waving his arms, no. Let's take a look at the Wildcat schedule this year, because they open on the road. They're going to be at Shakopee. That won't be easy.
No.
And then they come home. Their home opener Friday, September 11th against Prior Lake. Haven't seen the Lakers in a few years. And something to note this year, home games, 6:30 start time. And did we minor pick up there for the Cops? But yeah, so 6:30 start time for Prior Lake. Other home games, they've got Lakeville North and South back-to-back into September, and then October 2nd. And then Rogers is going to make the trek down 494 and Cedar Avenue and a few other places. Too far for Spies on that throw. And that's a Friday, October 23rd. As it seems to me, that is a week later than normal for the regular season to end. Usually it's like that Wednesday of MEA week, which is actually the week before they're at Rosemount. Oh.
There's no question, Mike, there are some oddities in scheduling this year. I'll tell you, though, the Wildcat schedule this season that you've just run through, I wouldn't say it's murderer's row. It's not exactly the Yankees of old, but it's pretty close. I mean, you've got and of course that's the way it is in 6A football, right, Mike? I mean, there are only so many teams that you're going to play, and as a result, you're always going to have these big teams, these big schools, these big programs, and for a Wildcat football team that has certainly come of age in the last handful of years, it presents a real challenge to take the next step forward, right? Where I think what every Wildcat football fan wants to see is this team, make it to the bank, or make it to the state, make it to state in some sense.
By the way, Cops turn the ball over on downs. So the Wildcats get a chance to take over on their third series of the game.
Yeah, approximately 9 minutes to go in this one, in this half, I should say.
Yep. Started at the 40. A low-scoring affair thus far between the Wildcats and the Eagan Police.
Yeah, I'm going to chalk that up to the turf.
Yep.
And maybe the heat, too.
The heat. Quarterback change for the Wildcats. And a wounded duck, a little bit underthrown. And it's going to be second down for the Wildcats.
And folks, I think you can maybe pick it up on the parabolic mics. There is some rather salty. There is some rather salty smack talk going on down there. Not too many bleeps that we'd have to put out, but it is certainly And they're certainly giving them the business if they drop the ball.
Yep. Yeah, back on coverage that time for the Cops was number 16 as I go to the roster, Chris Brandt, recently deputized. Pass far side. I believe that's going to get out of bounds. It wasn't caught anyway, so it's going to be 3rd down for the Wildcats. And you mentioned the Wildcats last year. They were 2-7 on the season. A lot of close games, but you had the win over Eastview, and then, of course, really that fun win over Farmington. Back, if I'm not mistaken, that was homecoming, too, I think.
It was homecoming, yes, you're right.
But, yeah, continue to climb the ladder are these Eagan Wildcats. Chance to talk to a couple of the coaches before the game, and like Mark Henderson, one of the co-offensive coordinators. It's like the numbers are up this year for the Wildcat football program, which is great to see. Nice throw this time, near side, just through the receiver's hands on the near side, and it's going to be 4th and long for the Wildcats. As you look at more of our fans soaking up some rays here at TCO Stadium on a sunny Wednesday night. Hey, they were telling me too, it's going to have 5 teams. You'll have 2 freshmen, sophomore, JV, varsity. But more and more schools just don't have the number of kids to have that many teams. And he was saying that like Shakopee is only going to have 1 freshman team. Okay. I'm like, really, Shakopee? Wow.
Yeah, you would think, you know, one of my former coaches. Oh, what is he doing?
Oh, he cut it back.
He went the wrong way. All he had to do was dive.
Dacian Schumann with the stop for the Eagan police. Schumann did not bite at all on that deke.
Not at all. But as to finish my point,
take a look at this.
Yeah, quarterback steps back, hits a receiver, gets a good catch on it. They run a clear out, and he just has to go forward, just stick the ball out.
Yeah.
Just stick the ball out forward, break the plane, so to speak, right? Forward progress and all that good rot, you know?
And Chris Brandt on the stop as well for the police. He would take over at the 40.
But as I was saying, I once had a football coach tell me, Mike, that if we won all our games, we wouldn't be able to find enough uniforms for people, right? And so the Shakopee High School has been just fantastic over the last handful of years.
Yep.
And it surprises me that their numbers might not be as high as a place like Eagan.
Yeah.
Now that being said, I think the pressure starts to become more palpable for the ladder crew, for the coaching staff, for the Eagan High School program to say, okay, now we've got the numbers. We've got 2 big freshman teams. We've got 2 sophomore teams. We've got a JV. We've got a varsity. We need to be able to be competitive in the South Suburban Conference in our section.
Jake
to the extent we have a section anymore.
Jake Gregg, the intended target on that last one, by the way. They said we are coming to you from TCO Stadium here in Eagan, home of your Minnesota Vikings. Little out route. Oh, what a catch that time by number 13. That's Johnny Erickson. Johnny on the spot. I believe he's the one that told me he played for Minnehaha Academy for a few years. They were telling me who was it they said. Look at my roster. I can't remember. They said one of the guys played out east somewhere in college. So I forgot to mention who that was.
And if you are asking us why in the world are the Cops-Cats game, why is this Cops-Cats game being played here? It is in part, we understand anyway, it is in part based on the construction that is going on at Wildcat Stadium. There is substantial construction in the stadium lots. Parking would be a real challenge. Amenities would be, limited. So as a result, the folks here at the Vikings TCO Event Center have.
Oh, and that one's picked off by the Cats, off the hands of Johnny Erickson. First turnover of the game, I believe, by the police.
Johnny wasn't on that spot.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything going on at the stadium per se, but I think it's the stadium lot and it's all around it.
Yes, it's all around it. It's all around it.
I know they built that new parking lot out kind of beyond right field at the baseball stadium. That'll have to be used this year.
The old discus sectors. Yep, absolutely. And also freshman or soccer teams out there. But so yeah, it's there's some good reasons why we moved the game here, and at least that's our understanding. We don't have an official word, but that's a pretty good supposition based on this conjecture.
We're still 6-0 Cops. We get near the end of the opening 20 minutes. Cats going for it all. Far side. Got a man. Just overthrown outside. Good coverage back there by George Anderson. Boy, I wish we had the names of some of these players for the Wildcats. I said we're scheduled to have a player guest.
Well, the clock is running.
Yep.
And it's running pretty fast, so.
Yep, we're expected to have the police chief up here at some point as well. I see him still on the sideline, though, coaching fiercely, I believe, of his guys. As that one falls incomplete for the Wildcats.
I was just going to say, you know, the last chief we had here, I think Chief New.
Yeah.
I do remember him out on the field.
Yes.
So Chief Omari taking a slightly different tack.
Yes.
And deciding to coach, to lead, to be the field general on the sideline rather than risk various serious orthopedic injuries on the field.
Correct. I mean, you do have Twin Cities Orthopedics right here. But hopefully not needed. Little pass. It's going to be 4th and short upcoming for the Eagan Wildcats. Here we go. The Eagan Police Chief, Salim Omari. Like I said, got hired on back in December of 2025. By the way, our representative from TCO tonight is Scott Hagelin. His son Sawyer played last year on the Eagan football team. Got a chance to talk to Scott briefly before the game and told him hopefully he doesn't have to do any work tonight. Means all the guys are fully hydrated. Nobody pulls any muscles.
Cats turn it over on downs. They had a guy open. They just couldn't find a way to get him the ball. But you know, Cats, I have to tell you, I have rarely seen a game like this in this format where we're going to, I mean, there's a chance we finish this half at 6-0.
Yeah.
That's not what I don't think that's what we were thinking was going to happen when we showed up here today.
No, I saw DraftKings had the over-under quite a bit higher on this one.
I checked FanDuel, and maybe that was just a little bit lower. But I always bet the money line.
Yeah. Cats, are the Cops looking to go long? Got a man across the middle. They're trying to get the Spies in there once again. Couldn't tell who that was coming over from the far side. Might have been Johnny. The two guys probably not supposed to be in that same area right there.
Yeah, it looked like a busted route.
Yep. This cap just a little off on that throw. So get a good look at Spies coming back. Actually, it was he and Schumann, I believe, on the far side. Casey on Schumann, number 8. Lined up in the slot on the right side right now. Crossing route. They're going to go down the middle. They got a man across the middle. First down, Cops, and we've got a big collision. Jack Young, former Wildcat, with the reception. Nice hands by Jack.
Nice hands. Nice. That was two rather large human beings coming together. Ow! That looked like it stung just a little bit.
But ooh, hey, popped right up.
Yep. Had to get those sunglasses too.
Yeah, football player. Cops looking to go up by 2 scores. No, good coverage as Anderson the intended target. I think he got held.
Hard to tell from here. Hard to tell from here.
Exactly.
We don't have, unlike the World Cup, Mike, we do not have VAR. We will not be reviewing that play.
No. And something tells me the officials are more so just first down. Yeah. I'm going to guess they don't even have flags. Well, they probably have a flag in their pocket, but the crossing route just behind, picked off Wildcats. A huge stop for the Eagan defense. And this remains 6-0.
From time to time, I have been accused of being a bit of a killjoy when it comes to celebrations. The old act like you've been there before, act like it's no big deal, but that was one heck of an interception. Check this out. This ball has, look at that, absolutely just reaching out and snatching it out of the air. That was something special.
That could make a highlight reel at the end of the year.
It might make a highlight reel at the end of the year.
If they choose to include this unofficial game.
Well, just turn the sound down and everything will be fine.
They do that with us all the time. So it looks like Cops playing well off the ball here to start this play. Can the Eagan Wildcats convert with an opportunity? They're going to come near side. The minimal pickup. Get the deep. Oh, coming across. He gets a block. Nice play coming up from the backside, though, with Schumann for the Cops.
2 minutes, approximately 2 minutes, 40 seconds to go here in this half, Mike. Cats have a chance here to pull even.
Absolutely. Remember, the Cops missed on that 2-point conversion on that early drive, but they marched right down the field with no problem. That ball dangerously thrown. Oh, they're going to say that's a catch? Official on the far side immediately signaling catch.
I guess he's got the ball in his hands. His feet are on the ground, and the defensive back just
Let's take a
scrapes
look at this.
Yeah, he takes two steps
yeah, he lost
before he loses it.
Yeah. Nice coverage back there, though, for the cops. 13 was the number. I'm thinking that's Johnny Erickson. I got the number for most of the officers. Let's just call them cops. I don't know how many are officers, how many of them are higher up on the chain.
Yeah, good question.
We'll ask the chief.
We'll ask the chief.
He comes up. Quick throw, short pass. Oh, nearly going the other way was George Anderson. Boy, how much would George Anderson have loved to pick that one and go about 75 yards?
You think he's got some hot dog high stepping when he's going in 20 yards out and nobody around? I bet he does.
I'll bet so. In a game like this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Just a nice burst, and actually really kind of a nice play by the receiver to break that up. Cat's going for the corner. Just a little too far for... Can we just call this guy Red? The red hair there?
Oh, we have a timeout. Forgive me. We have a timeout. I did not stop my watch, so we have about a minute and change left.
Okay.
By my count,
Yeah.
referee says we're going to stop the clock.
Well,
I'm not sure who he's waiting. Of course, he's acting out of habit. He's telling the press box to stop the clock. I am the clock right now. I'll spare you my Sylvester Stallone, Judge Dredd, I am the law bit, but I am the clock.
yeah, I was just thinking, too, this is kind of something cool. I mean, second time in the offseason we've had the Eagan Police on ETV this year, because we had that hockey game earlier with the Eagan Police against the Eagan Fire Department as well from the Civic Arena.
Yeah.
Bit of a fundraiser there. That was a fun night by all. And we just get everybody kind of figuring things out there on the sideline. Number 2, Jake Gregg. Almost had a reception earlier tonight. As we look at more of the Eagan fans, I'm guessing we'll see them out at Wildcat Stadium on September 11th when Prior Lake comes over for that home opener.
September 11th marked what I think is the beginning of our 11th year together.
Yeah, I'm sure I think it's a 10 or 11. I don't know. Oh, did they get it? Oh, just shy. So it's going to be fourth down, I believe.
So we have another timeout.
Yep.
Interestingly enough, the referees seem to be suggesting that it is the cops taking the timeouts. And I wonder if that's at this point simply because they want to catch their breath and kind of get reset before these young pups run to the line and run a quick no huddle.
There you go.
Although the Wildcat offense in the last handful of years hasn't done a lot of no huddle, Mike.
No. Here we go. Big play for the Cats. Across the middle. Did he cross the plane? He did. 6 points. Eagan on a flip to celebrate. Just before the half, the Wildcats tie this one up with the Police. Watch the replay. Again, plenty of time. Sees the route. Among, 4 defenders around that football?
Can't get much better than that.
And the flip, that was pretty good too.
Yeah, that might suddenly the interception celebration probably is now second place.
Yes. And I dare say you do that in the regular season, it's going to cost you.
Yes, that's right.
You do it one time. And you probably won't do it again. Wildcats for the lead.
That's it.
That's time. I think we cut to 3 Apple.
Yep.
And so that makes it 6-6 is this football game. Again, here at TCO Stadium. Again, we're the Cats versus Cops. We believe it's year 5. And it's, again, open door pantry here collecting, I believe we've reached halftime. Halftime it is. Perfect timing is as we've got the, can we say new Eagan Police Chief still with us?
You can say that.
All right, Salim Omari, thanks for stopping up in the booth here tonight.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thank you.
Had to get up here where it's air conditioned?
Well, you see, I broke a pretty good sweat walking up.
Absolutely. What do you think of an event like this?
Oh, wow. What an amazing time for us to be able to come together with our future leaders and connect with both our law enforcement and our community. It's fun. I saw a bunch of family members down there. What a good day.
We saw you talking to some of your players on there on the side. Was it coaching or was it just giving them a hard time? What was going on?
You know, a little bit of both. You know, I played a little high school football. I sometimes think that I still got it in me, but a lot of razzing too, right? Like if you're not having fun, then you're not doing it right.
Absolutely, and that's what this game is all about, I think. Yeah. And I saw 21 years in law enforcement for you. You just spent the bulk of it with St. Paul, and you had a ton of roles that looked like they were with the St. Paul Police. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, so I think I'm wrapping up year 22 here. Spent a little time in the city of Bloomington. That's where I started my career, and then spent nearly 2 decades in St. Paul. Doing everything from patrol to investigations, street-level narcotics, gang investigations. Spent 15 years on the SWAT team in really every capacity, as an operator, as a team leader, and as a team commander. And ended my time there as a district chief running one of the 3 precincts over there, and really grateful for those opportunities that have set me up to be successful here for this community.
One of the things I saw in the press release that you're hiring, and I wrote it down, and said, you believe in the power of collaboration and community engagement to keep our neighborhoods safe.
Yeah.
What does that mean to everyone?
Yeah, you know, I always say we can't do this by ourselves. You could have the best police department, but without collaboration with other public safety entities, city government, our businesses, we're not going to be successful in the work that we're doing. So it really requires that collaboration between law enforcement and everybody else who cares about public safety in our community. And I think that's a police touchdown there, huh?
Your cops just got on the board, Chief.
Hey, all right. How about Eagan PD, ladies and gentlemen?
Hey, you had your chance on the call there for your guys?
Well,
you got the 2-point conversion
they're going to
here.
score another one here.
This one's all about you.
All right.
I didn't see who that was that got the score. Was it Schumann, number 8?
It was,
Let's find out.
It was. We'll have to talk to production staff.
But, we know Jake
All
Iscap.
right.
He's still the quarterback.
He's got Jake Gregg across the middle, and it's caught for the touchdown.
Huge early score for the Cops as we start the second half here on ETV. And let's take a look at that. If you want to walk us through the replay there, Chief.
Yeah, you got Jake Iscap. Oh, here's a touchdown. He goes deep into the left corner for a touchdown. And so that young man there, he graduated from Eagan High School in 2025. He's a Mankato student now.
Yep.
And really happy to have him on Team PD.
Christian Langhorst.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Chief, we were curious. We were speculating up here. What is required to be deputized for one day to be able to play with the Eagan PD in this game? I mean, is there a formal ceremony? Is there a certificate you get? Do you just get a gold star, or a pat on the back, and a bottle of water? What goes into that?
Yeah, you know, I want to memorialize this as much as I can, but I think you nailed it with the gold star and a bottle of water. You know, it's just good opportunity for these guys to still be able to play with their old teammates and come over to the PD side.
Doesn't hurt that it might save your guys a few orthopedic injuries and a little bit of extra gas out there, does it, Coach?
Yeah.
Or Chief?
Yeah, so met Scott from TCO over there. We had a long conversation about making sure our guys can show up for work tomorrow. Dan Spees with the interception.
Spees is, I know this is your first year, but Spees is legendary in this game.
Yeah, I've heard he's the one to watch. We call him Detective Dan.
Okay.
You know, talk about community connection. There's the guy that does it all. Great police officer. He's the master of Connect 4 as a school resource officer at Black Hawk Middle, and clearly is doing it all on the field as well.
And I understand Jeff Thule is out there, and he's the resource officer at the high school, if I believe I was told.
You're
is that
absolutely right. Yeah, he's out there as well.
I don't think we've called his name yet. Going for it all, far side. That ball, George Anderson. One of those one-day deputies.
Wow, there it is.
With a nice catch, and it's 19. 6 Cops.
We might go 2 gold stars for him today.
Oh, what match his gold, kind of those bright yellow gloves he's got on.
Well, it's easy to pick out George, no question about that. He had a ball off his hands earlier, Chief, and making up for it. I mean, I think he wants a return invite to play for you next year.
Well, I think based on what we're seeing so far, that invite should be in the mail.
The combine is favorable to young Mr. Anderson, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Two-point conversion upcoming. I believe it's 19-6. Just got to change the graphic here. We're waiting for the conversion. Speed's coming near side. Jump ball. Not going to happen.
Johnny Erickson. If that's the second time those glasses have come off, I want to make sure that.
So I believe it's 19-6 now. We just 6 more for the Cops. Yeah, Johnny will take a little heat for that one. He's not afraid to tout himself, I think you could say. He was doing that before the game a little bit. Having some fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seems like a great guy.
He really is. We're so fortunate. I tell people all the time, grass is much greener here in Eagan, and it's because of the people.
Yeah.
Our people are our greatest asset. These are people who have hearts for service, love this community, love protecting people, and kind of the way they're playing defense, right? Defending the goal line. They defend this city so well.
Yeah, I know you guys got a couple of events coming up here. I saw Teen Citizens Academy. I think the deadline is coming up. I think I saw like next week already. I'm not sure when this will be broadcast, but and then National Night Out is usually early August. And how big is that going to be?
Yeah, I'll start with the latter. National Night Out, August 4th, early August there. What a big event across our country, but Eagan really does a nice job. I'm looking forward to it, getting out with community and it's just some organic conversations with people in their space. As for the Teen Academy, this is something that's new for us this year, August 10th through the 14th. Really looking forward to bringing 25 teenagers together and learn the ins and outs of what we do, why we do it, how we do it. So that's something we're really excited about as well.
Awesome.
Chief, you just mentioned, you were talking about how the grass being greener at Eagan, it being relatively, you're not new necessarily to the position. You've been here since December. You're new to the Cops versus Cats game, and that's why we're going to keep calling you new until you've had one of these under your belt. But talk a little bit about for us, what is it when you came here? What is it you like? What is it you value and treasure in your department and in your community? And then what's something that you look at and say, hey, I think we can build something here, and this is something new I want to build.
I really appreciate that question. I was kind of talking about how our people are our greatest asset. Any company, any organization, certainly any police department. But these are some of the finest human beings, both our sworn and non-sworn staff. And when I got here, I spent a ton of time originally doing one-on-ones with every single staff member, both sworn and non-sworn. Got to hear about what was important to them personally, professionally, and make sure that our police department is operating around their talents, their skills, what they want, and making sure it aligns with what our community is doing. So that's a huge part about what makes us so successful. We talked about Detective Dan a little bit. I go back to him. We talk about organic community connection. I think that's something that makes the Eagan Police Department really special as well. And folks, if you don't know, we're only 61 years old as a police department. 6 previous police chiefs and a couple hundred police officers have done such an amazing job of building a strong foundation, and now it's my job just to kind of build on that and along with these officers. So some of the areas in which we want to make sure that we're continuing to evolve, because constant improvement and growth is a core value of mine, is making sure that we are developing our first line officers all the way up through our command staff for the next roles. I want to make sure that Eagan police officers are the ones that are being recruited for every other police department. Hoping they don't leave, but I want to make sure we're creating the very best cast of staff. And so we're spending a ton of time making sure we're investing in training, making sure that we're looking at all of our policies and procedures and just how we do things and making sure that they fit this community's needs.
Again, Police Chief Salim Omari is our guest here on the ETV broadcast. And one final one from you. What can the community do to help you guys out? I know there's the Safe Camp program. I saw Neighborhood Watch is still alive and kicking.
Yeah, I think the first thing I would say is if you see something, say something. Your communities, your blocks better than anyone else. So if something looks out of the ordinary, don't just bypass it. Give us a call. Let us know. We want to come and check it out. We always say that no call is a bad call to us, so we want to come check that out. You talk about that Safe Cam program. This is it allows our community members to register their cameras so that when our detectives are investigating a crime, they have a chronological list of where there are private cameras that may have picked something up, So that's certainly something that people can do. And neighborhood watches. We're really fortunate to have our own crime prevention specialists. Jill Andre does an amazing job in connecting with community and neighborhood watches specifically. There's training that goes into it. They make sure that it's organized and people have the material that they need and know who to contact when they see something. So, I guess I would just end where I started. If you see something, say something. Give us a call.
Absolutely.
Final one from me, Chief. I understand we had a hockey game last year between the police department and the fire department. Do you skate?
Well, I'm not playing today because I don't want to blow a hamstring or an ACL. I was once a Zamboni driver.
Really?
Okay.
However, I've never skated other than throwing on some skates and skating with my daughters recreationally from time to time. So,
Okay.
Fortunately, I won't be playing in that game.
Okay, but you might be driving the Zam at the Eagan Civic Arena.
I think it's time to dust off that skill set.
That might be
cool.
kind of fun.
I was just saying, you sounded like former police chief Roger New there for a minute with, I'm not playing, I don't want to hurt my hamstring, I don't want to this. And, oh, yeah, that's great. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But,
And
hey,
it's worth saying, how about Chief New and what he did over the last 7 years here, Chief McDonald and all the chiefs before me. I'm really grateful for their leadership here, and it's really helped build a really strong department. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys calling this game. And how about Team Eagan PD?
yeah, I'm telling you, there's some athletes out there.
Pretty impressive here.
Well, last year it came down to literally the last play of the last second of the last half. So from a drama standpoint, we're certainly hoping that the players make a little bit of a comeback, but that's the commentator's curse.
How
Is that
about
Greg
that
with the
catch?
catch? I think it was Jake Gregg, wasn't it?
I think so.
Is that Jake?
Maybe Christian.
I'm trying to read that number. Yeah, you're right. I think that's Langhorse.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9-2.
What a catch.
Wow. I think he's going to get 2 stars as well.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 stars and maybe an upgrade from the bottle of water, Chief.
You know those little police stickers that we have. We might have to upgrade from
There you
stars
go.
to those
There you
police
go.
stickers.
That's an idea for next year. Give all the guys who are joining your folks down there little police stickers. Have them line up and get little badge stickers and have them line up and get a picture.
Yeah. Hey, they're all kids at heart.
They are. Yes, they are.
They're certainly earning it today.
Well, hey, Chief, thank you for stopping by. Thanks. Welcome to Eagan. Great to meet you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Get
Really
down there.
appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Chief.
All right.
And good luck coaching these guys the rest of the way. All right. Again, that's Eagan Police Chief Salim Amari joining us here in the booth as part of the Cats versus Cops round 5. Game that is now 25-9 for the Cops. As the Eagan Wildcats, they be struggling here against a more experienced team, maybe we could say.
Well, more experienced. I mean, they're longer in the tooth. I'm not sure if that means they're more experienced or not.
Yeah,
but,
that's a good
but,
point.
But maybe with the mojo that has now changed in the broadcast booth,
Yeah.
Mike Cook.
I believe it's 25-6.
25-6.
Yep.
25-6. Yep.
6-9. It's upside down. Whatever.
9-6.
It's the whole. What was it? 6-7. That whole thing. That's still a deal. I don't even know.
So as I was saying, I mean, Coach. I keep saying Coach Omari. Chief Omari leaves, and we get a new guest. We get a new guest. It is Eagan senior defensive back,
Yep.
Drew Boyd. Drew, welcome to the broadcast booth.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Cats
Hoping the Cats
all
turn
ticked
this
off.
around.
That's not going to help.
Oh, not at all.
He hit him in stride, though.
He did hit him in stride. He just
Right
hit
in
the.
the numbers.
That's not the jersey you want to throw the ball to.
No.
So, Drew, I mean, talk a little bit about your situation. I mean, how are you? Well, we can check out the pick here on the screen. That's a pretty good pick.
Just playing center field.
Yep.
Yeah.
You've done that before a few
I
times,
have,
haven't you?
yes.
So, Drew, talk to us a little bit about your situation. Are you going to be ready for this fall and ready to roll?
It will be close. Last season during baseball, I ended up fracturing my back. So this summer we've been going through that injury, and we hope to be back mid-football season.
Excellent. Good.
Nice.
Good to hear.
Hey, talk about this year's squad. What are you seeing? I understand you guys had a good summer program. You went up to Duluth, had a good time up there, played well.
Yeah, great time up in Duluth. It was good to get the guys back together again. We got a strong senior class this year for sure. Been together since 3rd grade football, so really excited to see what we can do.
Who are we keeping an eye on out here tonight?
Tonight, I mean,
You guys don't have. We were saying they got to get pennies or something, so we know who you guys are.
honestly,
But
yeah.
But yeah, you know who all these kids are.
Yeah, we got Joey Wilk coming out here, starting QB, also plays lacrosse. We got Luke Hansen, another captain out here, playing a little bit of offense today.
Yep. Throw short that time by the Cops. And I thought I heard you guys saying before the game, it's just kind of going to be a free-fall. You're going to have offensive linemen running routes and who knows what else.
Yeah, just going to have fun. Just going to have fun today.
I was just going to say, how much fun is it for you guys to play the Police?
We love this. I mean, it's awesome to have them out here. Not only for us, just for like the youth in the stands too. A lot of youth walking up here, all in happy smiles on their face. It's a really cool experience.
Cops looking for more down that far side. There's Anderson, and nice breakup. Who was that?
Good defense. Looks like Jacob Bjorkstrand from down here.
I see a yellow hanky, and I see something yellow, and it's a hanky. It's not one of George Anderson's gloves.
It had to be offensive interference then, didn't it?
I
Must have been.
don't know. Take a look at this replay. Drew, walk us through this.
Got ball. I mean, he's going for the ball there. I don't know.
I think they're gonna call defensive pass interference and mark that. I think that's a bit harsh.
That's a tough one.
And now, of course, this is our first penalty of the game, and of course, everyone has to figure out, okay, now since we have a penalty, what are we going to do?
I think they're going to accept it.
Automatic. Well, yeah, but is it an automatic first down? Is it move it to the head? Wait, where are they going to put the ball? That's where I think they're talking about. So, Drew, with respect to this coming season, we were going through the schedule earlier before you came up on the broadcast. So you see some of the young fans out taking in the game here in TCO. The schedule here right in front of you, there aren't any easy games on that schedule.
No, sir, there's not. We got a lot of competition, and week 1 we got Shakopee, and we know what Shakopee is like.
Oh, nice pick. Uh-oh. Who is that?
Oh, same kid. That's awesome.
Who is that? Same kid.
He's newer. I can't remember.
Are you one of the captains?
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
I know.
Well, he's used to seeing him with his helmet on.
I used to see him with helmet on.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
But still,
Look at
this.
a month to figure it out until training camp.
That's a great catch right there. That's
He high-pointed
awesome.
that thing.
Absolutely.
Nicely
That's
done,
awesome.
young man. Gonna know his name later, aren't you?
Yeah.
That kid is not an offensive lineman.
No.
He does not. Yes.
So the Wildcats down by 19. Take over with, I don't know, we got 15 minutes and a half, I'm guessing, give or take.
Approximately 15 minutes and a half.
We thought we were on running time, and I think they played a little longer in the first half than anticipated.
Oh,
hook
some
and ladder.
trickery.
Got the hook, but no ladder.
Almost worked, but you look at you look at that schedule, Drew, and I mean, it's not the worst schedule in the history of football, but it's pretty darn close. I mean, you've got and of course it's 6A football. So in 6A football, there aren't that many teams, and so you're going to play. You're going to play the first or second or third or fourth best team in the state rank-wise, and next week you play the next guy, right? And they're just as good.
For sure. It's definitely grinding football. But, I always like to say, week 1, great team. It's an opportunity to show what we got, and, looking forward to it.
Where do you think the strength, with respect, look, every team has its strengths and its weaknesses. Or should I say strengths and things they need to work on, not weaknesses. But this year's Wildcat football team, if you said, okay, you can hang your hat, Nathan, on this thing for the Wildcats this year, what would it be, Drew?
Or strong defense.
Defense.
Strong defense.
We got a lot of guys back on defense.
Yeah, we got 8 out of the 11 starters, so that's awesome to have.
Did you say Joey Will's your quarterback this year?
Oh, no, just he led out here.
Okay, so I'm like, wait a minute, what did we miss? It's still Parker.
Yep, junior Parker West.
Yeah. How's your offense? A lot of returnees there as well?
Yep, also a lot of returners, key players like Gage Halverson. He's back in action, so it'll be cool.
That's cool. Should be fun. We're all looking forward to being back out there for Eagan football again. And you said September 11th, first home game of the year is against the Prior Lake Lakers. A team you guys haven't seen for a few years.
No, not really.
Yeah.
Well, last year, but last year we did end up playing them.
Did you play? Okay. Throw, tip drill, touchdown Wildcats.
Nick Emerson with the interception.
All right, we've been ranking.
Yeah, you're right. That wasn't. I was thinking he could have. No, who had the ball? I lost track.
Yes.
Oh, it's
We're professionals here.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Wildcat.
Touchdown right there.
Yeah, 6 points Eagan. look at all these highlight plays they're going to
Wow.
show up in that year-end video.
Yeah, Drew, I think if you've got any influence over the highlight video at the end of the year, I think you guys should include some of these acrobatic catches and some of this stuff at the Cops-Cats game. I think it's worth another 30 seconds of your time.
For sure.
Did we determine these? It's a 1-point conversion or a 2-point conversion?
I don't think we know.
I don't think we do. I see they're putting 1 on the scoreboard each time, so
That's fine. It's a 1 point.
I think what we've learned over the years is this game is just kind of, it's like backyard football in a way. Just pick teams, get out there, play. We'll make it up as we go along.
Now, that all being said, last year, Drew, I'm sure you took part in this game last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And last year it came down to the last play of the last game, of the last, the last quarter. Exciting stuff.
For sure. Hopefully we battle back and hopefully make it as exciting as last year.
I mean, has there been talk of that coming into this game, revenge factor, anything like that?
There should have been. Not as much as we should have, emphasized leading into this.
No bulletin board material, anything like that?
So
Not today.
So what you're saying, Drew, is this is not two teams that hate each other?
No.
Okay.
It's only 5 years into the rivalry. Isn't that
Yeah.
a little early? How about this? Did you get any words of wisdom from Coach NJ?
Honestly, not much.
Okay.
Not much.
Okay. So it's 25-13. Our scorer, Drew Boyd, our special guest up here in the booth on ETV, as we're here for Cats versus Cops. 25-13 Cops. And not George Anderson. That time it's number 9, Christian Langhorst, with another catch for the Cops.
Hey, Drew, with respect to, you're heading into your senior season. You obviously want to have a successful season, but football is transitory. It's something we get to do when we're kids or when we're young. We play it and we move on, just like we move on from school. So what are your plans after high school? What are you thinking of doing?
After high school, right now I'm trying to pursue playing baseball in college currently. But I'm thinking about going into a business degree, and we'll see what happens.
What position you playing in baseball?
Center field, outfield.
Nice.
So
Nice. Did you hit one over the wall yet?
I did last year. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Awesome experience.
That is cool. That is one of the kind of neatest features of a ballpark around here, just having that ball in left field. Cops, far side.
Oh.
Did he hang on to that? He did.
What a
George
catch.
Anderson. I think that's George Anderson.
No, he
that's
does not
Johnny.
have. He doesn't have yellow gloves.
No, that's Johnny.
Yep. Well,
Johnny Erickson.
he's making up for a lot. Making up for what he dropped. The one he dropped earlier.
Yep.
Look at this.
It's not bad defense right there by Ethan Chen either.
No. I know it's the Cops, but that might have to make the year-end highlight reel as well. don't you think?
It might. It very well might.
And conversion. Whoa! That would have made it 2 had he hung onto that football. So what do you guys got coming up in the next month here before you start training camp and 2-a-days and all that fun stuff?
We got Eagan Train, which is our lifting program, and that's in the mornings, and we practice through there, and then little break, and then we're back into some captain's practices, which is new for us this year.
Oh, really?
It's going to be working out, little 7-on-7, and that's going to hopefully build the team chem to get going into our practices.
Is that the whole purpose, just to build some more team chemistry?
Yes, pretty much, and also just get better.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah. Just coming across the back of the end zone there. Not going to happen.
Well, for sure, he was going to come up with that one. And
Yeah.
you see, wow, that's
Well, I'm trying to see who that was. I think it was Jake Gregg.
that was 2-1. Who's 2-1?
I thought it was
That's
was
Spies. That was Spies.
Okay, I saw the 2. All right, who do we got here now going to take over for Eagan?
Who are these guys?
We got David Comer, Joey Will, Evan Davis. Got some younger guys, Maddox.
This is Will with the throw.
Joey Will dropping back. Big old ball, Jacob Bjorkstrand. Caught. Oh.
Yeah, he's got no chance of scoring from there with 3 Cops right around him. And that's okay on a football field, not outside of here. to have 3 Cops around you.
Yeah. So, discretion, the better part of valor there.
And didn't try to barrel him over or anything like that.
Yeah.
We saw that big collision earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was
There's-
that on the receiving end?
Evan Davis.
Davis, okay. Will going for the, and
Oh,
I gained a couple there on. I don't know who that young man is with the red hair.
Maddox. Michael
Maddox.
Maddox.
Who's that you said?
Michael Maddox.
Mike, okay. Yep.
Matzik.
Yep, Matzik.
He's had
Offensive lineman.
Yep.
he's had a good game so far. He's been in there a lot. Will taking plenty
He's
of
looking.
time.
Oh.
Got the
Gotta
three apple
unload
once
that
again.
cannon.
Yep.
So, Drew, quick question for you: is there ever any talk amongst the players on cops versus cats game? Is there any ever talking to the players that, hey, these guys are either police officers or staff or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If we light them up, if we truck them, if we whatever, we might get we might get pulled over on Northview Park Road or at Braddock Trail or whatever. Are you guys ever talk about that? Hey, we got to watch our step. We got to mind our P's and Q's with these guys.
A little bit. The collision, I got a little scared, wondering if it was our fault. Like, we got to watch out there. But a little bit of talk definitely going into it.
Here's Will. Quick pass.
Try to hit him again.
Cats unsuccessful on 4th and short. I believe we call that a huge stop for the Cops.
Yeah, that's a major stop. The Cats find themselves on the wrong end of a 2-touchdown game right now, and time is ticking.
Absolutely. Off his hands.
Not exactly the Wildcat. I mean, Drew, I know you play defense, but not exactly what we're seeing out here, the Wildcat offense, is it?
No, not at all. I'm not seeing any triple option.
I was going to say, it's almost a dumb question, but that's what they're going with again this year.
Yeah,
I mean, that's with Nick Johnson as your coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know Nathan and I like to tell NJ, you've heard of this thing called the forward pass, right?
Yes, we have.
Yeah, definitely not a...
Doesn't mean we have to use it.
No, no.
Exactly. Are you guys throwing the ball at all in the summer to learn it?
There's talk.
Mixing that in?
Yep, we've been throwing in the summer.
Have you?
Doing some 7-on-7, practicing our plays, throwing.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
hopefully to incorporate some of that in
Sure.
game time,
Yeah.
certain situations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you see, Drew, I don't know if you're a football guy, so you probably are paying attention to this, football-related social media. You do see from time to time reels of teams that have that one going down deep down the sideline. There you go.
Oh.
That's Schumann with the catch for the Cops.
They're short, but
he's shy. Yeah,
they're
nice
right
throw.
up tight. But you see these videos of these teams like, Army and some of these other triple option or option type teams, and because they've executed their option offense so well, they can do that option pass or that fake option pass where they stick it in, pull it out, and throw the ball. And that, I think, is, to me, that's like Wildcat offense 301, right? Where it's like, okay, we got to get everything right, running the ball, offensive line doing everything, and then all of a sudden now we can open that up. I have to think that that's got to be somewhere. I mean, to compete against these teams that we're playing against, you have to have every tool in the box, right?
For sure. We definitely been working on that, especially when we went up to Duluth. We added a few more passing plays like that.
George Anderson with his latest score.
Oh, now he's just showing off.
Yeah, and we're sure he's not rubbing this in on you guys, is he?
Probably, to be honest.
Okay. And the 2-point, or the 1-point try, I guess, is caught by... we'll call it good.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. It's a 3-score game.
Yep. I don't have a number 20 on my roster, so maybe a late arrival for the Police tonight while we still got the rosters. 38-13 Cops.
Approximately, by my count, I've got about 9 minutes left in the half, but we had a little bit of a glitch in the first half. So we'll see. We'll see how close we are.
Now, what are the rules here, Drew? You should know this.
I'm not sure. I was wondering when halftime was.
Okay. Yeah, we were told one thing and another, and
going with the flow.
Yeah. How cool is it though? I mean, I know it's an unofficial game, but you're playing at TCO Stadium.
It's so cool. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Wish we could. I know a couple years ago we had a game here. Wish we could recreate that, but I don't. Not this year.
Yeah. Would you want to play here if you had the chance?
I think it would be a cool opportunity, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Nathan and I, we were on the call. They played Farmington in 2017, I want to say?
Yeah,
played
Farmington. We got down by a whole bunch, made a massive comeback to get within one score, and then Farmington pulled away right there at the end.
Yep. Still remember Sackmaster with that
Sackmaster with a pick six. That's right.
Down in this left
right.
corner. Yep. Who are we looking at here, Drew?
We got Jack Logan, a junior here. Also plays basketball, but playing QB right now.
Is he normally a quarterback?
No, usually an A-back for us.
Yep, he's not a quarterback. That's okay. Hey, you guys are having fun with it, though, right?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of smiles.
That's what it's about. And nobody's gotten hurt.
Yes, no one's gotten hurt. We haven't needed the services of TCO yet.
Nope. So what do we got? Second down? Fourth. So it's fourth down. Look down. Wildcats really got to have this one. Will they get it?
Oh,
That one's going to fall incomplete. And Cops are going to take over with a 25-point lead as I see the reinforcements have arrived for the Eagan Police. Or is that the quintet that will be dumping the Gatorade cooler over somebody?
Yeah, I'd be concerned if I was Chief Omari down there. I can see him farther up the side. I mean, who's going to get the Gatorade dumped on them,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I think it has to be Chief Omari, right? Drew, don't you think? I mean, the Chief's got to get.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Head
right?
coach.
Yeah, I mean, he's the guy in charge, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The architect of the success.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Or maybe they'll just carry him off on their shoulders.
And no wonder the players need, players are going to get some reinforcements if they're running around. They're going to be worn out by the end of this one.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Can you imagine being down there running around in this stuff?
Man, it's hot.
And we're up here in the AC, and it's still hot.
That was Jeff Thule, by the way, the intended target. He is the school resource officer at Eagan High School. You deal with him much?
No,
Okay,
no,
good.
not really.
Good to hear. Good to hear. That the cheerleaders are here. I mean,
Yeah.
this is a big time event.
Uh-huh.
Going for it all. Lobs at far side.
Oh, good effort there.
Yep. Good coverage back there. Who is that? Oh, that's the guy we don't know.
I'm blanking.
Yeah, okay. We'll figure it out by that Prior Lake game. Hey, no pressure. You had no idea you were coming up here to talk.
Yeah,
on behalf
this was
of
an
the team
ambush.
tonight.
Complete ambush.
And you're doing a heck of a job.
Oh, I appreciate it.
I mean, if that injury goes into the season, you could take Nathan or I spot with no problem at all.
I was going to say, you're always welcome to come up in the booth.
Absolutely.
If the other great thing about the New Eagan press box after they've renovated it a few years ago, AC.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, nice catch, Spees.
Oh,
No, that's that number 20 again. Okay, I just assumed it was Spees. Oh, something I was just going to ask, and I just went blank on it. My apology. Is there one thing you're really looking forward to this year, your senior season?
honestly, just being able to play football with the guys won last year.
Okay. We don't want to put you on the spot, but what's the record going to be?
I'm hoping we can get 4 games.
Yeah.
4 games
I think
and
so.
see what happens there.
Yeah. No, I think you guys had kind of a rough year last year, kind of a transition year, but I think Nathan and I, we did plenty of games. And you could see the growth among the senior football team.
For
last
sure.
year.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, last year the defense was so young, Drew. I mean, last year you had returning into last year, what was it, 2 starters returning? Maybe 1?
I think it was one.
Yeah. And graduating a class of 37 the year before or something like that. I mean, of course, there's going to be some growth. And then, offensively, you lose 3 starting offensive linemen to season-ending injuries at different points of the season, early in the season. You have quarterbacks who are still trying to get comfortable in that situation, and that's not going to get off on time. Oh, the Cops.
He can catch us a little break there.
Yeah, Cops. Officials might be quick on the whistle there. Cops looking for an explanation, but they're not going to get one.
We called it an infraction on the Cops.
An infraction on the Cops. Yeah, that's right. There was an infraction on the Cops.
Yes. Third down, by the way. Corner. It'll be 4th down. The Cops comfortably in front in this one. So we got to be down inside 5 to go, I would think. The scoreboard's not operating here at TCO.
Yeah, Mike, I've got us down to a little over 4 minutes.
Okay. Well, Wildcats have to have this stop.
Oh, absolutely.
Any chance at all.
For sure.
38-13 Police. Definitely taking their time at the line of scrimmage, kind of milking the clock. Far side.
Bam!
Nice coverage out there.
Good coverage right there.
Johnny, the intended target. And young Mr. X with the stop for the Wildcats. Hey, Drew, thanks for stopping by.
For sure.
Appreciate you coming up, giving us the insight on the Wildcats this year. Should be a fun year over at Wildcat Stadium.
Yeah,
Expect
for
that
sure.
place to be rocking. And we're all looking forward to being there September 11th for that home opener.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
All right. Man.
Thanks, Drew.
Yeah, get healthy, and we'll see you for the opener. Drew Boyd, Eagan, senior secondary standout for the Wildcats, joining us here in the booth on Eagan TV. And he's Nathan Conham, Mike Cook. And Nathan, we got to mention our crew. You have yet to do that tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Our executive producer is Josh Sibley. Our director is Tim Shinyan. We have Joe Conlon on graphics with Robbie Butler taking replay, and our 3 crack camera crew folks, Max Hellemuller, Michelle Nielsen, and Ben Lamp. Thanks so much for making us look and sound good here on ETV. You guys we're just volunteers. You guys are the people who really make this kind of thing run, and we really do appreciate the opportunity, as we always do. We always appreciate the opportunity to call games this year from Wildcat Stadium.
Out route near side. Nearly making the move, but a nice stop that time by the cops. It's number 16, Chris Brandt, for the cops on that stop.
Yeah, of all the years to have a game here at TCO for the Wildcats, this year, given the construction that's going on at the Wildcat Stadium, boy, it would have been nice to get one home game here.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we saw that community support when they played that game here back in 17. And you know the fans would come out for this one.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And also, who do we have? We have Prior Lake at home, the 2 Lakevilles, and Rogers. I don't know, maybe move the Rogers game?
Yeah, I vote for that.
Yeah, of those 4 of your home dates anyway.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know if Rogers has ever been here, but
I have a dumb question, because I ask dumb questions. Would a team ever be interested, say with Eagan High School, if it got a home playoff game because of the construction, would it ever want to play it here?
could it?
Could it?
Yeah,
but would it want to?
I don't know.
I wonder. Because you could say, look, I mean, with the construction going on and things like that, we've got some logistical challenges and things like that. But if this field were open, if this facility were available for a first-round playoff game that you're hosting, maybe.
Yeah. And I don't know. Again, I mean, you're having high school games pretty much through the month of October here, so it's not like you're going to have this place, winterized or anything like that.
Right.
Well, I've always wondered why they don't have playoff games here, for like state quarterfinals, things like that.
Great question.
And maybe TCO doesn't. The TCO or the Vikings don't bid on them, but I just thought if you had like a triple header here one day, maybe even bring 4 Class 1A games here. You get these smaller communities.
Oh, would that be incredible?
Like this.
Would that be incredible?
I would think it would be.
Well, it'd be like the Prep Bowl. I mean, it'd be like the Prep Bowl at Thanksgiving time, right? I mean, where you have game after game after game after game. Right. Back in the day, where you literally had, I don't know if you recall,
7 games.
You had 7 games, 6 or 7 games in the day. They didn't do 2 days. It was the 9-man guys start at 8 in the morning and we roll all the way through 10 or 11 at night.
Yeah, if you were lucky, 5A was going at 9 p.m.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. But yeah, I just thought if you move like a quarterfinal here or something. I mean, I know they play it at some of the local high schools. I know Eastwood's had games.
Well, a lot of neutral site games at that point too, right?
Yeah, Burnsville's had some games. But I'm thinking if you're, I saw Byron play somebody at Eastwood. You could go another 12 miles up here, a little further up Highway 52, and play here.
Well, from your lips to the Wolf's ears, I guess.
Right.
I'm sure they'll be all over that.
Yeah. Jake Gregg, by the way, there you see for the Eagan Cops. Of course, for the Wildcats, it'd just be fun to have another home playoff game.
Yeah, it is. It is fun to have a home playoff game, no question about that.
2 years ago, we had, Osseo start, and then Edina came down, and that place was rocking. The pit was insane. Cops going deep. Oh, through the hands. Peyton Gramboy with an opportunity.
Is it just me, or do those guys look suspiciously similar?
Yeah, Marshall Beerley, a couple of linemen.
Haircut, hair color, both big men of stature. I mean, they almost knocked each other out there, too.
They did. A couple of good friends, maybe playing together for the last time.
That is one thing about this game that is unlike almost every other game that gets played, and that is this is not a lifetime sport. It's not. For whatever reason, it's not.
Near side, underthrown that time.
I mean, how many times, Mike, have you and I been down on the field before a Wildcat football game, talking to coaches and kind of getting the sense of the lay of the land? And I've looked at you and I've said, I think I'd give like 30 days of my life to be able to come back in high school shape and play one more game.
Yep.
And I have to tell you, I think there's probably a substantial number of people just like that.
Well, I think too, and then you go to the other end of the year when you lose that last game,
Yep.
and you've got to take your helmet off, your pads off, and you just see, guys out here just in tears, just absolutely emotional.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, they've been playing this game since they were what, 5, 4, whatever.
7 or 8 maybe.
Yeah,
but
well, maybe with the pads, yeah. But
Yep.
like, yeah, we've seen it in other sports too. Your kids played varsity hockey.
Yep.
That kind of thing. And all of a sudden, it's over. Cats looking to make this a little more respectable as they're down by a 38-13 count.
Got a timeout there.
Again, thanks to our fans coming out here at TCO Stadium. Look forward to seeing all of those folks on September 11th against Prior Lake, the home opener back at Wildcat Stadium. Come early, make sure you can get parking. It's all still ripped up over there, as they're again adding on at Eagan High School.
And I should mention, you mentioned Drew Boyd. I'm going to take just a moment and say something serious. And Drew Boyd hit a home run over the Green Monster at Eagan at the baseball field. And I should mention that the young man who hit the first home run over that Green Monster,
I saw that.
one of my classmates, whose kids played with my kids here at Eagan, Andy Lockenmeyer, passed away at the age of 51 very, very recently. And so, obviously a lot of the community trying to hold that family, and that's, it goes to show you that life is fleeting.
Yep.
And you need to take advantage of it when you have it. But Andy Lockenmeyer, he is class of '93. He was part of the first class to be at Wildcat for all 4 years, through the magical side hike special that connected us in our first playoff game to beat the Rosemount Irish. I mean, was a tremendous baseball player. He was a father. He was a husband. He was a friend to a number of folks, a classmate, teammate, and of course, so many people will miss him.
Absolutely. Yeah. Condolences to Tracy and the entire Lockenmeyer family. We see him at hockey games and other sporting events. Just class all the way around. And I believe that's it. Did not hear the final horn. Did not see anything like that. And for at least the second straight year, it's the Eagan Police over the Eagan Wildcats. This time it's 38-13, your final score. But does the final score really matter in a game like this?
The final score does not matter unless somehow the Cats beat the Cops, in which case the Cats have a little bit of fun with it. But otherwise, you're right, it does not matter. What does matter is what's going on in the field right now. The Cats, the Cops, everybody getting together in front of the scoreboard and taking a picture and demonstrating that it's a community, and we are a community, and from top to bottom, whether you're a police officer, sworn and unsworn staff, or you're a high school kid, you make Eagan your home and you do your best to try to make your home a good place to be.
And again, the Open Door Pantry partnering the event tonight, and food insecurity, donations, volunteering, definitely help out the Open Door Pantry. Again, their headquarters not too far from here at TCO Stadium. They'll gladly take the help. One thing I forgot to mention in our broadcast is our charitable gambling partners again this year. Greg and Lisa's Hidden Treasure, Scratch Pizzeria, Tavern 13, and Wyatt's Twisted Americana. Again, thank you for being proud supporters of Eagan Wildcat football. As you get some words of wisdom there from Police Chief Salim Omari. Again, nice talking to him during the game. Drew Boyd as well. Thanks for stopping by the booth, adding some insight to this broadcast. So that's going to wrap things up here from TCO Stadium. Once again, your final score, the Eagan Police 38, Eagan Wildcats 13. But as we said, there are no losers in this game. He's Nathan Cron. I'm Mike Cook. Thanks for being with us. And we will see you September 11th for that home opener The Prior Lake Lakers, the Eagan Wildcats, it'll be live on ETV.